Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn. I'm out here in what I call my retirement field. Our retirement field. I think I'll include my wife. So, as far as the retirement field is, that little hump of dirt right there, which is all topsoil. That's probably roughly the location of the house. It's sort of the top of this little knoll here. But what I'm talking about here, or what we're doing here, is actually developing a borrow pit. So I mowed this area off where I'm going to scrape the topsoil and take some clay or just fill dirt. You may not be able to see as good on camera, but there's a bit of a hump. So there's sort of a low spot there. It humps up and then it just goes down. So I thought this was a good area because we don't need that hump, and what I'd like to do from sort of that apple tree area is just sort of have a gentle slope. So there's excess material here. I actually mowed this with the flail mower that you saw a couple of videos ago if you watched the channel. 62-inch mower on a 20 horsepower Kubota, and it actually did quite well. And the grass was probably 2 feet tall or so. You can see it there. On this, that's really just where I missed mowing, but for the most part, the area, it cut all the grass. It really spread the, well, I guess hay, dead grass out pretty well. I'm very pleased with that and what a little mower can do. So as far as my technique or what I'm doing here, I think I'm going to at least start just using exclusively the bucket to strip the topsoil. I don't know how deep the soil is here, the topsoil. The sod, I'm guessing probably 6 to 8 inches. A couple reasons I want to use that. One is it is pretty thick and heavy. It's, you know, it's topsoil, but it's sort of clay based. So I could use the blade, and I may end up doing that, and it's downhill, so it wouldn't be that bad. But if I plan to use the topsoil anytime soon, meaning put the topsoil back over and smooth it out to let the grass regrow, it'll be a lot better. It'll break it up more with the bucket versus it'll be huge clumps if I just use the blade. So I think I'm going to start off doing is just scraping here where I am, setting it over here, and then pushing the pile either to the edge of the mowed grass or maybe into the unmowed grass. So what I've learned before, in an area like this, if I just do a windrow, then I'm going to have a lot of standing water, which I don't want to. It really smells and it just makes it muddy. If I do go to spread it out, this takes a long time to dry out. So instead of having a windrow of topsoil, I'm just going to have individual piles so that the water can run freely between the piles. So this will be a long process, at least to initially get enough soil removed so that I can take the dirt from underneath. So I'm just going to put you on time lapse, and you'll see firsthand if I change my technique or how I end up doing it. Well, as far as the dirt work goes, it's going well. It seems to be a lot more gravelly than I thought. I mean, it's sort of still a lot of clay, but there's a lot more small rocks. Seems to be some, you know, more sandy stuff mixed in than I'm used to in most areas of my property. So that's just a little crumbly, but you can definitely feel sand. You can see the sand even sort of drying off already on top. So over here I haven't gone down as much as I need to. I'm going to go down more over here, but either my dump trailer or my dump truck, I'm going to drive from that sort of mode access road in here, so I don't want a big drop off. So when I get over here, I'll probably scrape a bit more, because this is, you know, this dark stuff is still topsoil. You can see roots, where this different color here is more of the native soil underneath. But the reason I stopped is I have a bit of a leak. It does look like it's bent. I don't know how I would have done that. There's no room, it was not loose. So I'm thinking maybe I damaged the fitting. Ow! So you can tell perhaps on camera that you can see this is not sort of 90 degrees to this block anymore. Oh, maybe it's just the O-ring. Yeah, that O-ring seems bad. I don't have an O-ring kit, but what I might have some other fittings that have the O-ring in it that I'll steal. But that appears to be it. If that's the case, that's the best scenario. So I did have one O-ring. What I should do, because this is O-ring face seals, what this type of fitting is called. This excavator has a lot of them, and they're all 5/8, so at least I should get this size. It's not the first one I've had fail. And I think that block is bent before. Either I bent it. I mentioned in another video, I've owned this machine for 9 years. I have certainly hit it now and then on a tree in the woods. Sure I don't get this thing cross-threaded. Look at that. The other thing I know I've done before, which is what I was about to do, is, well, particularly in this position, so the O-ring is sort of upside down, and if I'm not careful, it'll come apart or come out, and then it'll be half in the groove and half out, and I'll tighten it down, and bang, another O-ring ruined. So it seemed to go in okay. Well, let's see, my confidence level that it won't leak, maybe 60%. I mean, even between this piece and this piece, it looks like it's bent. So it could be leaking out of there. Well, I'll start it up. If it does leak, at least I can troubleshoot where it's from. Hopefully, if it does leak again, it's just a matter of this fitting being replaced. I probably have enough hose here just to have this cut off and a new one put on, versus this block. That would be a lot more difficult. Huh. It's dry. Well, I'm excited, very thankful. Well, I'll continue on work. This process is going to be the same. It'll be boring, I think, if I just keep on showing the same thing. There are some larger rocks that I'll pick out, just ones that would not be that fun to sort of spread if they're mixed in with the topsoil. Some of these I cannot manhandle like those. Some of these other ones I can. So I'll strip enough topsoil off so I can actually start actually moving the good material, which probably won't be until that way quite a bit. I may do just a little bit more this way, and then I'll continue this same sort of section, which is probably about 20 feet wide, 15, 20 feet wide, and just continue that way, probably 2 or 3 more times. So I didn't think I'd bring you back until I was done stripping the topsoil that I wanted. But I did change my tactics, my approach, my technique a little bit. At least when I watch videos, I'm probably more interested in the way they approach a specific task than necessarily watching the operation and digging in the dirt. So I think I had done this too before when I stripped topsoil, I just don't remember, where I'm doing most of the moving instead of pushing it with a bucket, which is fine, and the machine does fairly well, particularly downhill. But here I'm doing most of the sort of moving the topsoil, with the swing, rotation of the house. So I can move it almost to that pile, not quite, so I'll just sort of push it up to the top of that top pile. And like with almost anything, there's trade-offs, so a lot more time swinging, I guess more wear and tear on the swing components as opposed to the travel motors. I did replace the travel motors on this soon after I got it. But I did not get OEM ones. I got aftermarket. I know the company's in Texas. I think they're actually called Texas Final Drives. So they're quite a bit cheaper than OEM. So I don't know if the quality is cheaper. So I guess in one sense I don't tax the travel motors any more than I need to. I'd rather not have to replace them again. Bucket to drag stuff against, and sometimes it gets in the way, and it does shorten the sort of the stroke that I have with the bucket. Bigger roots you see, there were, this probably was 5 years ago, there were a bunch of bushes, some, I don't think it was all speckled alder, but it was like that, just sort of brushes that weren't really trees, and they were trying to keep this open here clean between the two. The water that collects can drain. So I cut them all down. Some of them I dug up the roots, and some of them I just cut off flush, and then just took the woody plant itself, the woody bush itself, and put it into the woods. the stuff that spills off to the side here back up to the top of the pile. I'm not going to really have to use my blade at all. So a lot of this here is really not going to change depth that much. I don't have a lot to scrape off. It's sort of where the excavator is sitting now was where it really will start to get deep as I level, sort of take this hump off. So I'm trying to guess dimensions. I didn't really measure it out, you know, as far as the area that I mowed. Maybe 150 by 150, 150 feet square, something like that. And this is probably an eighth of that I've scraped off so far. If I need to, I may continue to mow beyond that. I do have a farmer that'll mow this field for the first time. As I mentioned, the brush that grew up here. So this field was in pretty bad shape, but over the years I've kept bush hogging it, took all those bushes out. You know, there are some apple trees that I've either grafted or just wanted to let stay. There's some decent shade trees, some red maples, some elm, American elm tree like that one there. Another red maple there that I just want to sort of have. This will become sort of the backyard, backfield. There's a white pine tree there. All right, so now I'll probably do a couple more iterations of this and then I'll come back, unless I have other difficulties that are interesting. We'll come back when I'm ready to actually start moving some of this fill dirt. Well, I've scraped the topsoil that I wanted to before I started actually taking some of the fill dirt for use. You can see the rocks, they almost like they get bigger and bigger. Some of these I will not include in the fill, like that one there. That one there. And what looks like a buried treasure here is a rock that I will probably not be able to move. So I basically have excavated around it. You can see areas where the teeth have hit it hard and it's still exposed. So this is in the final grade of this area, the top of this rock would probably still be exposed. I may play around with it a bit more, but even if it's this side and it's sort of cut off at the bottom, it's going to be too big for me to move. So what I'm thinking at least now is this just will be a fixture in the backyard, just something to mow around. So, okay, well, it's it for now. So the next phase of this little operation is going to be to bring my dump trailer, start loading it up, and then figure out, how deep to here to go to sort of make the right grade. If it looks like it's too difficult for me to judge that, I may scrape some more of this topsoil off here so I have a better idea, so I'm not like going too deep and then have to go back up again. Well, the next day we're back out here, and this is my maiden voyage with me using this truck. So I have 22 tons of what we call crusher run. It's 1.5 inches, so it's basically bank run gravel, and then they crush it through an 1.5 inch crusher. They might add to it some ledge product just to make sure they have enough of the right mixture of sizes. But for the most part, it's a natural product. So my first use of this fill material is going to be in the woods. I've done some ditch work just beyond the tree line into the woods, and the road is a little bit of a mess, so my first use of this is going to be trying to tailgate spread, and we'll see how that works. So let's see how well I can back down there and put the gravel where I want it to go. So I'm a little bit race against the clouds here. The forecast has thunder showers here in the next 20 to 30 minutes, so I thought I should get this unloaded now. I can spread it after it gets wet, but backing down here I could probably do wet. It's getting out. Well, as you can see, it was a fail. For whatever reason, the tailgate latch did not release. So with the position of these rear wheels on the left, I really don't want to move. I think I'll just do my best to dump it here. I'm not going to worry about tailgate spreading, just move it. Well, I don't know what's happening. Is that I checked it. In fact, I think I checked it yesterday. Those worked empty. I don't know if there would really be any difference, empty or full, as far as them opening. In the center of the picture, you'll see the pneumatic cylinder that operates the tailgate latch. So it extends to unlatch or unlock the tailgate. So here in a second you'll see the cylinder retract, and I'll cycle it again. You'll see it attempt to extend, and it does not. And between the rustiness of the linkages, which I had greased, I had thought, but not enough, and the weight on the tailgate, the way the mechanism is, it did not push, it didn't have enough force to push it on its own. So when I helped it with a pry bar, it did release. The way the mechanism works is that in the lock position, the mechanism sort of goes past neutral, if you will, so that the force of that latch, or the weight against the tailgate, actually keeps it shut. It's almost like you have to bring it from a 9:30 position to a 9 o'clock position before it'll release. And it's that way, so if you, if you lose power to the cylinder, the tailgate is not going to fly open. I'll show a video of the this actuating here in a second, but you can see the linkage at the end of the shaft that the cylinder rotates. The orange arrow points to the hinge that connects the arm for the tailgate latch. That arm is where the red arrow is pointing. To open the latch, the arm needs to move to the left, but the joint at the orange arrow is above the center of the shaft that the cylinder is connected to, and the shaft cannot rotate counterclockwise, so the latch cannot open. When the cylinder extends, it will rotate the shaft clockwise, so it needs enough force to pull the arm ever so slightly to the right. Once the hinge at the orange arrow drops below the center line of the shaft, the arm will easily move left and open the latch as the shaft rotates clockwise. Well, almost everything is out. The rain has come. I can't get out. So I guess it'll be another rescue mission with the bulldozer. I think I'll wait till the rain stops. Not quite the maiden voyage I was hoping for. So I lifted the dump body up, and when I did that with the tailgate buried in the pile of dirt there, gravel there, it actually lifted the rear of the truck up a little bit. So I'm going to take some of that gravel, shove it in there, same with the other side. I may do that a couple times, try to get myself out of this hole. Huh, really, this side. So I lowered the dump all the way down this time. I'll try one more time, see if I can get the tailgate to lift this up a bit more. Well, looking at the small craters, it doesn't look nearly as bad as it seemed to feel. I'm not sure, when I took it out, I almost think I had the interaxle differential lock in the unlocked position. I don't know, it was a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience, and maybe just in the flurry of flicking switches trying to get something to work, I left it in the unlocked position. Because I went to put it in the unlocked position when I get out of here, and it was already in the unlocked position. So I'm not sure what happened there. God only knows. But at least now I can turn my attention to something I'm a bit more familiar with, which is spreading gravel. So this is my purpose and why I wanted to start down here. I think I videoed this, but there were a couple trees that I dug out the stumps, pushed them over. One was dead and one was rotten, but they were right here. This side here is always sort of slipped off into the swamp area. I do have road fabric here, but I think it's sort of hugging the right hand side, and maybe with the vegetation sort of creeping in this way, I keep moving over this way in my lane of travel. But so what I wanted to use part of that gravel was to sort of fill this little hole in, sort of make the edge of the road a bit closer to that side there to the left, sort of going into the woods. And then I didn't really need a lot. Use the rest of it to sort of level up this. You can see here where the tire tracks, that gets into the mud a little bit. This is a big pile. And then here's where I ditched, and you can see where the tire tracks are to the left. That's a little bit low. So basically that's where I'm going to spread it out. Long shadows or bright sun? Guess you'll get long shadows. So this for now is the best I can do. It's passable. Did obviously put some gravel where I wanted it, but there's a lot of gravel here where I don't want it. So I'll have to come down here with the excavator and just move this stuff from both sides of the road into the center. Do that some other time. I had intended to make a trip or two down here with some of that fill dirt and start covering up my corduroy road. But I think with our little sidetrack adventure, it doesn't make sense to try to do that now. I'm guessing this video is probably long enough. So maybe you'll stay tuned for the next one, which will include using my dump trailer and, well, the bulldozer again, I guess, to spread the material over the corduroy roads and try to work on some of the woods roads and make them a bit more passable. This obviously is one of them, but this one was in decent shape. I was just trying to fine-tune it. Oh boy. Learning. I guess that's a never-ending quest, huh? So thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. I do hope you stay tuned for future ones.